Hello friends. Today I'll be showing you how to make a simple mail pause. So the first thing you do is to draw a horizontal line and a vertical line straight, just to make your measurement correct and straight. So the next thing you do is to measure your width 21.5 centimeter. 21.5 centimeter, then the height should be 9.5 centimeter. So when you measure it, make sure your measurement is accurate, so at the end of the day your project won't be it won't have issues in terms of the sizes. So you get your point, join your points after measuring the height and the width. So the next thing I did was to add like quarter inch after my measurement, just to give allowance for stitching. On the four sides, just add quarter inch to them, measure it. It's just allowance for stitching. So the next thing you do is to cut it out perfectly. So this is the pattern. This is just all you need, the pattern for this small purse. Then we'll bring our leather that we're going to use, a plain leather, plain calfskin leather. Just place your pattern on it and measure it out. So this pattern is serving for both the front and the back of the purse, so which means you're measuring in two places. We are going to fold the side that we marked. Add your gum. Now after, when it dries for some few seconds, you can fold it. I usually add this straight taping. I got it just from a plain paper, just to make your folding accurate. Just place it on it like a tape. Just place it on it, add gum, so that when you fold, the folding will be straight and accurate. After folding, the next thing you do is your zip. Bring your zip, get ready to attach your zip to the purse, pull the head of the zip. At both ends, you leave measure out half inch or 3/4 at both ends. That would help in after stitching because you're going to fold from the inside out. So first of all, cut a here you attached your leather, the front and the back on both sides of the zip. The next step is to prepare your lining. Here we'll use a velvet lining. So you use the pattern to bring out both the front and the back. It's a very simple thing that you can do. attached the lining to the leather. The next thing is to sew the purse. In sewing that, you will join the leather together, the two sides together, and the lining, as in like leather to leather, lining to lining. That's how you stitch it, because the leather, the lining is a drop lining, so that's how you sew it. Just watch and see how, these places I marked are where the thread will pass. The thread will stop at those points. And this is the handle, the D-ring and the handle. The measurement I used for the strap for the handle is 3/4 by, you can use 3/4 by 8 inches. You cut it out, put your gum and fold it. So we have finished stitching the purse. So you open the middle of the lining and turn it inside out. So the next thing is to bring out the lining again and stitch up that place, that part that is open. So you stitch it up and close it, and that will be all. This is it. Then you put the lining back inside, and this is your purse. It's very simple to do, so a male or a female can use this purse.